Hello, Virgo. Thank you very much for tuning in to this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using the Cosmic Tarot, the Cosmic Slumber Tarot by Tilly Walden. Website in the bottom is Liminal 11. Feel free to check that out. Freeze frame on that if you need to get the spelling. Supportive Oracle cards. Magical Spell Cards by Lucy Cavendish. Illustrated by Jesse Reish. There's a website, hayhouse.com, at the bottom if you're interested. I don't know why I moved that so fast, but there you go. There's Lucy's name and the name of the deck. Oh, I'm already feeling like rush. I don't know if this is going to have anything to do with your reading. Let's see. That card. I forget that card is like that. Okay, I'll show it in a minute. Because I'm wondering if this is good, bad, or indifferent for you. Okay. This is Virgo. That could be good. Could be. There's cards here that are really... It depends on how it's going to link up to you. We have to go down the road first, I guess. Starting off, something doesn't seem right. And this is literally the card I look at sometimes. This is the card in this deck. It always it sticks out that there's a plume of smoke behind this. The Three of Pentacles. The Three of Pentacles traditionally talks about hard work, to make it really simple, putting work in, stuff like that. But like the destruction, to me, when I see that plume of smoke, it always makes me feel like there's something about destruction here. The fear of destruction, the working past destruction, the escaping of destruction, something like that when I see this connected in. But I'm getting the Knight card with you, and I'm an intuitive reader. So for what I'm getting for these two together is like, I'm not really sure what's going on here. I'm putting a lot of effort in, and I feel like if I don't hold things up where they're supposed to be, if I don't do extra work, if I don't put extra effort in, this is going to have an issue that I'm not interested in. It's kind of like either pay now by putting in extra work, or pay later by dealing with the fallout for other people letting things slip through the crack. It's kind of like I could play the it's not my job game, it's not my responsibility game, but I'm still going to get the fallout for it later, because even though it's technically not, by not keeping up with it, by not fixing something that I know is wrong, I still have to deal with it later. So it's either pay now or pay later, and I'm like, I'd rather get it out of my way now. I'd rather just deal with it. I feel like a little bit of, I don't want to say sarcasm, like I'm just aggravated a little bit with it is what I'm getting. And technically I feel like I feel like that's where we should go with this. While this shouldn't be a responsibility, again, it's kind of like, yeah, well, it's, how do I explain it better? It's kind of like I have a job I'm working on, and there's things that are going to happen later, but if everything isn't done at the same time, we have to wait for other people to catch up. That's the simple way to do it. You're up to par with yours, maybe you're even a slight bit ahead, but there's 3 other people who are behind, and you're like, I can either help them and get us all up to par, and just like try to help them, try to find them the help, try to help them manage that so that we can all leave on time, or I can be there pretty much on time, maybe even a little early, and then maybe you're okay with being early and waiting till the right time comes to leave, but you're like, if we end up being 3-4 hours late because we had to wait for these 3 people to catch up, like that's going to aggravate me. It's going to put the whole day behind for me. You got a lot of other things going on, so it's kind of like, I'd rather just help them get up to par, help them move forward so we can all leave on time, so that way I get where I want to go on time and I can continue on my path and things can stay in order. I feel like I'm trying not to be aggravated, but I'm aggravated. You definitely are, because it's kind of like this is going to slip through my fingers if I'm not the one to hold it together, and I have to do extra work to make that happen. It's, it's how do I want to pay the bill? It's kind of like that. It's like it shouldn't even be my bill, but like, how do I want to pay it? How do I want to pay it? The thing is, I think the kicker of this is you do like these people. I think that's the kicker of it. I'm not sure what's going on with them. I'm not really sure how I want to link up with them in the future. I feel like this is the type of friendship, it's kind of like if it's like a Saturday event, say I was going to go somewhere with them on Saturday, I don't really plan much else for that day when I'm dealing with these people, because they're not the most punctual. They're kind of all over the place. I have very tentative plans. I'm kind of like, say we're going to go to this one event, and then we might have some food after. I'm just kind of like, at some point we're going to get to that event, preferably first, more than likely first. And then where we go afterwards, I'm like, I don't get myself too excited about where I think we're going afterwards, because this energy is so random. If I thought we were going to go to place B, we're going to go to somewhere completely different in a different town, and it just kind of, things randomly work out. And I'm like, when I understand that's what's going to happen, I'm prepared for it. I don't usually plan anything else for that day when I hang out with these people. I do like them. They're good people, but the way they do things is, I don't really care for it. If I have to literally work with them in a job, I usually just stick to my own. They do their job, I do my job, and whatever their thing is their thing. It's only when it impedes on my progress down the road that I step in and get things done or do something, because I feel like that's what I need to do to keep my stuff on schedule. I keep feeling like I'm trying not to get aggravated with it, because I know how they are, and I'm like, it doesn't feel like it's fixable. At least it doesn't feel like it's something that I can fix. I don't know if it's... I partly want to say it's not fixable. The other part is kind of like, well, at least it's not something that I feel I can fix. I like the situation, and I don't like it at the same time. I'm not really sure, like... I don't know. I feel like I kind of want to distance myself from this a little bit. It depends on the day. I don't know how to explain this. I go through periods where I want to distance myself from these people for a while. Then I go through periods where I actually really do enjoy them being around at the same time. So it's a very hot, cold, not like flash hot, flash cold, but like kind of goes into its warm season, goes into its cold season, goes into its warm seasons. Like for every now and then I really like being around them. And I was like, I know I want to stay away. And then I kind of start warming back up to it. Like, yeah, I like being around them. Like, oh, it's getting to be too much. And I'm like, no, I think I'll stay away. I do like these people. I feel like I do like these people. What is that, the Six of Cups? You know how this is. It's the Six of Cups. I'm also seeing the Five of Cups here, which is making me feel like I know how this goes. I know the ebb and flow. I'm just not happy with how it's currently going. What's coming forward here? Let me use the dice, because you're going to be fine. It's just how you feel about it. Looks good on paper, but how do you feel about it? That's kind of, how do you feel about it? Five of Cups-ish. Chariot-ish. I'm saying ish because it's like, the way the dice are coming out, it's kind of like, it's sort of good, sort of not. You really are putting a lot of effort to be at peace with things. You got the Devil card. Is that this one? Yep. Now, before people get upset about seeing the Devil card, it depends how it's being applied. I'm definitely that intuitive reader. I'm definitely like how other cards add in. The Devil can talk about restriction and rules and like adhering to the rules, and somebody else like saying, no, these are the rules and that's how this is going to go and this is how this needs to go, and not being very negotiable. Sometimes the Devil is known for being like very strict, very staunch, do I want to say? Just like, this is how it is. There's no discussion. This is how it is. Like, and the Devil can be very, very insistent of that. Ironically, it's an earth energy. This is an energy that is, ironically, compatible with Virgo. Kind of like Virgo's like, okay, there's rules, especially if I know the rules and that's how the rules are. If somebody's like, no, that's the rule and that's how that has to go, Virgo's kind of like, well, that is the rule. That has been put out there. And if the rule isn't met, there are repercussions that are going to happen. The rules are the rules. I feel like that's very much the rules are the rules, and there's random energy coming in. Is this the Prince? Random energy trying to overcome these rules. They will not, like, there's a separation. I feel like you might be separated out of this group going forward. See, this is where I said we have to go down the road to see where this is going. You might end up being separated out of this group. How and why is a good question. You might be playing that Devil role. making those decisions. I know people have a hard time. People have hangups with the devil card. I get it, but it sometimes talks about energy that like maybe you have to hold the rules, and other people may not like that, but it's just tough cookies. These are rules that have been set, and if they don't want to hold up to them, well, this is how it's going to play out. It may be you saying that when you've had enough. A lot of you, I feel like it's somebody else stepping in and saying, Virgo, you don't need to be helping everybody else. You have your own job to do, so you go over there. You get to move forward. You're going to move forward. You get to go forward now. Go forward. These other people, these other three who are not doing their job the way they should, they go over here. They're just not going to participate in this next section. You are. They're not. That's how this goes. Rules are rules. Prosperity goes to you. The random energy might feel like I wasn't expecting this outcome. I feel like that might be, because I feel like this Prince of Fire coming in is kind of like, oh no, rules are rules, and we're going to adhere to these rules. And the people who held up their side of the bargain, you go forward. People who didn't, you don't go. You just don't go. It reminds me, I don't know if this is going to sound like a bad analogy, but this is what it reminds me of. When I was very young, if you got your stuff done and you were ready, you got to go to the movie. You got to go to the movie and enjoy it. If you weren't done, if you didn't do your chores, then you stayed home, and that was just it. That was it. When time came, if people were leaving at 5:30, you had stuff done, you got to go. You didn't, you had to stay, and that was just the end of the discussion. That's that. I don't know. That's just where I feel it. I don't know. That's just what I feel. If you agree or not agree with how that plays out, I don't know what to tell you. But that's what I'm getting. Like, you're ready, you go. You're not ready, you don't. And then, that's just how that plays out. Hopefully you remember it if you didn't like it. For the people who didn't get to go. You get to go. So I feel like you shouldn't feel bad about it. Because I'm getting, like, there's a lot of energy there's a lot of friendship energy here. I want to be careful with this, because these are good cards, but again, I go with how the cards are feeling throughout this whole thing. I feel like people are kind of upset that they got taken out of the situation. Like, they got removed. They did not get cheated out of it. But I feel like there's going to be some of that going on here, because fire and earth, they're not really compatible, not usually. Everybody's chart's different, so there's a lot of different variables in somebody's chart. Like, a person's chart has a lot of different variables in it. So you can't just look at, like, somebody born in Sagittarius, somebody born in Capricorn, and be like, they're just not going to get along. It's more complicated than that, just to be fair. But the reason I'm saying this is because somebody is holding, like, no, you didn't finish, you didn't do what you're supposed to, you're not allowed to go. And those people are kind of like, I got cheated out of my reward. No, you failed. So when you fail, you just don't get the benefits. That's just how it is. Like, you're not getting a participation trophy. That might come across harsh. That's how it comes across, though. That no, just because you happen to be here doesn't mean you get the reward everybody else does. People who participated, did their work, did what they were supposed to do, they get reward. People who just happen to be here and just floundered around and just were present, no, you don't. I feel like you have mixed feelings about this. There's healing coming across for you. The way this is interesting. I feel like you do have compassion because you do care about these people, but I saw these, I don't know if I'm holding it right, because when I was looking at it, 4 swords were showing of this 10 of swords. I don't feel like elated that this happened is what I'm getting from you, but I also am kind of like that, well, maybe this is something they need. Maybe they need to see it work out this way. Kind of like, maybe you look at this in the sense of, like, if this was like trying to make dinner for yourself and you don't buy groceries, and then for whatever it's it's the middle of the night and they're hungry, but they didn't buy groceries, so there's nothing there. It's kind of like it's a harsh lesson like that, but there's nothing there, so you got to plan ahead a little more. And I feel like you might be looking at that like, okay, I understand that that's harsh, but maybe this is the school of hard knocks that brings that lesson home. to realize this is how this is playing out, and you got to plan ahead. If you're going to go five hours into the wilderness and just kind of like hope somebody else takes care of your needs, that's a bad idea. But if you have to learn harshly, get 5 hours into the wilderness and realize I don't have the supplies or things I need to make it through this trip successfully for a whole weekend or a week, then you realize, okay, I should turn back now because this isn't going to work out in my favor. So it's kind of like maybe they weren't seeing it that way, and there's some movement forward, there's some changes going on. Make sure you enjoy whatever you get out of this, because you deserve what you get in a good way, in a positive way. I don't like how that sounded. What is happening for Virgo? Because don't overthink what other people have done. That's their business. There's a lot of energy coming forward. The Lover's card, the Knight of Fire. You're getting a lot of benefits. More things are going to come forward for you. This is one of those things where I know I use the analogy of going to the movie. You end up going to the movie, and then because you're going to the movie, you meet up with some other people, and say it's on a Friday, and they're like, hey, next week we're going to be doing this, we're going to be doing that. You want to be a part of it? We would love for you to be a part of it. So you get invited to other things based on this reward. Like participating in the reward opens more doors for you, and you get offers for more things throughout the next couple weeks. Take advantage of those, because I feel like you're going to notice that these other people who missed the reward also missed these invitations, so they don't get any of it. This reward is compounded and keeps going. And the people who missed the bus not only missed this reward, but there's subsequential, I'm not saying that right. There's more added bonuses to this that they're also going to miss, but you need to take them. They're for you. Enjoy them. Go for them. Don't cheat yourself out of that. You can try to mention the other people if you want. I just don't see it flying, because I feel like they have to decide for themselves and they're not going to get the offer. I just flat out don't see them getting the offer. So I don't know how. Just make sure you enjoy this for as much as you're supposed to enjoy this. Don't cheat yourself out of your reward because maybe you feel bad for other people. I don't feel like that's fair to you. You have to do what you think is right. I think it's done. All right. I'm going to shut this down here. I hope this helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below. Same email. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.